If you run a gym, there's no doubt you felt the sting of cancellations, not from the people who've moved away that you can't do anything about, but the people who seemingly vanish into thin air, not giving you any reason as to why they've cancelled, and they ignore all your letters and all your emails asking them why they haven't paid their membership. Over the last 15 years of running my own gym, I've noticed what causes people to leave, but most importantly, what causes them to stay. And the retention system that I've built means the average member stays for 16.7 months, and 596 of our current customers, that's over 70.1%, have been with us for over 2 years. And in this video, I'm going to share all that with you, so you can build your own retention engine to keep members for longer and stop them leaving in the short term. I'm going to show you how we've reduced early member drop-off, created a member culture that means that people don't want to leave because they enjoy it so much, and turn cancellations into positive feedback that allows us to improve the gym to ensure that more members don't leave because of the same reasons. And we've done all this without locking members into long contracts so that it's stressful for them to leave, which leaves a bad taste in their mouth on the final exit. And if you stick around to the end, I've got a nice little tool you can use to analyze your own gym and see where the holes are, plug them up, and make sure your members don't leave early. The big problem with churn is that you've got members coming in, but you've also got members leaving at the same rate. So it's like a slow puncture effect in your gym. As fast as you can pump up the membership, people are slipping out of the back. And then what doesn't help is that when we ask them why they're leaving, they make up a polite excuse. I've had people say that they're moving to another country, and I know for a fact that they're still in the same city. They make up some story because they think that you're not going to cancel a membership if they haven't said something that's like really important. I'm getting my leg removed or something like that, so I won't be able to train for 6 months. All they care about doing is getting out of the membership, and a lot of the time that's because they've been contracted in to a really binding contract with very strict rules, which gives things like 3 months cancellation notice, or you must pay unless you die. You know exactly the type of gyms I'm talking about that do that. And another problem we've got, which is an industry-wide problem with gym owners, is that 50% of new joiners will leave in the first 3 months. Now, thankfully, due to the retention systems I've put in at Ministry, our leaving rate is much, much lower than this. But if you don't do something about that, you're about to become another statistic where the 50% of your new joiners are leaving, and you've got to work twice as hard to grow your gym. I see about 4 main goals here. The first is obviously we want members to stay for longer and not to leave. I think that's pretty obvious. The second is that we want members to feel at home, feel as though they're part of a community, and to bring their friends in so that we've got a little bit of natural marketing going on there where we don't have to put so much money into advertising because the gym is so good that our members bring in new members which are like them, which grows our ideal customer base. And the third thing we want is for members to get really good results. I mean, that's sort of obvious as well. We want people to think that their gym membership is working so that they don't leave or go to another gym which they think is going to get them better results. And the final thing we want is if people do end up leaving for whatever reason, we want to know honestly what that reason is, because we can't do anything with people saying, oh, I'm moving out of the area, and you see them in the local shopping centre a couple of weeks later. So we need to have a way of making sure our members feel comfortable telling us the real reasons why they're leaving, and not just something to get them out of the contract because they feel as though they have to make up a reasonable excuse. So we know what the problem with churn is, and we know what we want as a result of putting in retention strategies. Let's talk briefly about the mistakes that many gym owners make in trying to reduce churn or contributing to it because of things they got in place in the gym. Now, this is really important. If these things are present in what you're doing currently, you need to change them really, really fast because all the retention strategies put in place will not be working as well if these things are still holding you back. The first mistake, and this is pretty common in independent gym owners, is that we take it personally when somebody leaves the gym. It's like, oh, why would they not want to be a member at my gym? Oh, well, they can just get lost then. Because if they don't like it, they can go somewhere else. And this is something which you may laugh at, but I've heard it from a number of gym owners. And while I understand the aspect of niche, having a niche for your customers, if you have that approach with every person who leaves, you'll never find the reasons why people are actually leaving, and you'll never improve your gym. So don't take it personally. Whenever anybody leaves the gym and says, Tom, I want to leave, I'd say, okay, no problem. Sorry that you're leaving, but I would really like to know the reasons why so I can improve the gym for the future. And maybe then you'll want to come back later on. If people leave, it's an opportunity for feedback to improve your gym, to make it better. So don't take it personally. The second mistake, which I see a lot in both commercial and independent gyms, is that there's no support after somebody signs up. It's basically, okay, we got your money, here's your membership, off you go. There's no follow-up after, say, 2 to 3 weeks to say how they got on. There's no support in terms of, say, an app or things to help them get the results they want. And I think, and this is more true with commercial gyms, is that they want people to sign up and then become sleeping members, so they're paying for a gym membership but not actually using the gym, and this means that they don't have more people damaging the equipment or making it overcrowded. Now, I appreciate that a lot of your gym members will be people who are experienced trainers, people who've been doing it for years and years, and they just want to come in and use the gym. Absolutely fine. But if you don't have those things on offer to help people who are beginners, who are unsure of the equipment, how to eat, to support their training, where the kit is in the gym, those people will end up becoming part of that 50% of leavers. And the thing is, if you haven't given them any support, if you haven't created that bond with them during that time, they won't feel obliged to give you a reason as to why they've left. So it's very important right at the start to get in, offer them support if they need it. If they don't, that's fine. But if they do, then they can appreciate the support and get better results. The third problem, and this sort of ties in with the sleeping members thing, is that if someone doesn't come to your gym for a number of weeks, a lot of gyms don't follow that up. They just go, oh, great, they're just still paying their membership, so that's great. Hope they still keep paying for years and years and never come. Now, I'll appreciate the financial benefit of doing this. Eventually, you're going to build up a gym membership, which is at high risk of leaving if you ever put your prices up. And if you've ever had a problem with putting up prices before, you can check out this video, which will walk you through the entire process I use at Ministry to make sure that people stay and actually welcome the price rise. If you don't have some way of checking in with your members if they don't come for a number of weeks, I think at Ministry it's about 14 days. If people don't come to the gym 14 days, they get an email saying, hey, we haven't seen you for a bit. Is there anything that we can do to help? And we get a lot of people replying saying, yeah, I'm just on holiday, I'll be back soon. Or no, I've got a bit of an injury. Or we get other comments which are a little bit more personal. And that opens up a conversation where you can actually engage with our members and start building that community trust and actually bring them in as part of the community, part of the family, rather than, hey, we haven't seen you for a while, hope you keep paying your membership, or not sending them anything at all and then deciding to quit. The fourth problem here is a lot of gyms make it incredibly difficult and stressful for members to cancel their memberships. Now, again, I understand the financial reasons for doing this, but if someone is determined to leave, and you leave them with a bad taste in their mouth when they've left you, they will never come back because of the experience they've had, the last experience they had with you. If somebody wants to leave, if someone's dead set on leaving, I appreciate you might want to speak to them and say, sorry that you're thinking of leaving, can we help you? Is there anything we can do for you? But if they are dead set on leaving, the easiest way to do it is to say, no problem, sorry you're leaving, please fill out this quick form and then we will cancel your membership in a number of days. I've had members leave Ministry because of whatever reason. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. No, fill out this form. And then what actually happens is they go to another gym, realize it's not as good, and then they come back after about a month and say, yeah, do you know what? It's a lot of travel, but this is a better gym than the one I'm currently at. And they wouldn't have done that if I'd made the cancellation process a lot harder than it needed to be. So if someone is dead set on cancelling, yeah, get their reasons, but also make it a nice departure. You know, give them a handshake, say thanks for your business, and we wish you luck in the future. And I guarantee more people will come back, but also because you've given them a nice, friendly exit, they're more likely to recommend your gym to their friends. And I've had this feedback, so I know that is the case. It's seriously not worth trying to pursue someone for a couple of £100 just because they're leaving. It's just not worth it. And the fifth mistake is that the gyms don't have a community feel. This is more to do with, say, big commercial gyms. So you go into, say, some of the budget gyms. There's no atmosphere there. There's no feeling of belonging, no sense of community. And I'm going to cover a few points that will help you build that in your own gym. And you've got a massive advantage because if you're an independent gym owner, you have that personal touch, you have that personal feel. But sometimes, because we're focused on the business so much, we don't engage with our members enough. We don't converse with the members enough. And I've made this mistake myself. I've got so engrossed in growing the business. I've actually not been inside the business, meeting my members and chatting to my members. And a lot of people didn't even know I run the gym. So I changed all that. And now hopefully everybody knows I own the gym and I run the gym. So don't ignore the community aspect of it and developing that really strong bond with your members. Okay, so that brings us nicely into the concept I want you to think about with your gym, which is like a campfire gym. Now, I don't mean sitting around smoking mushrooms or eating mushrooms and singing country songs. If you have a campfire, it's somewhere people can come, have a chat, meet their friends, and then they can go off and do all the other things they're going to do. But they come back to the campfire because it's a community thing. The opposite side of that, which you'll know if you've been into a very sort of emotionless, bare commercial gym, I kind of think of it as sitting on a cold bench waiting to go into the dentist or waiting to go into the doctor or something like that. It's really sort of uncomfortable. We don't really want to be there, but you've got to be there because it's something you have to do. And a lot of people, a lot of your members will approach the gym or see the gym, at least initially, as something they have to do. If I don't do this, I'm going to get fat. If I don't do this, I'm going to be unfit. And a lot of the times they come to your gym, it will be on the, I don't really like gyms, but my doctor's told me I've got to lose weight or whatever else. And so if you don't welcome them in and you leave them sitting on that cold bench up to their own devices, sort of nervous about what they're going to do, then you won't build that community. And those will be the people who leave in that 50% of people that leave at the beginning. And what we're going to talk about today is you've got a campfire style gym where people really want to come, they really want to see their friends, and it's part of a community. They feel as though they belong rather than somewhere they've just got to go and spend a bit of time and then they can leave and they can't wait to get out. Okay, so how are we going to build this campfire style gym where everybody wants to come and chat to their mates and have a really good time and people are reluctant to leave? I call it keeping tabs on my members. And the tabs are tools, accountability, and belonging. Those are the three things we're going to focus on building inside our gym to make sure that people enjoy coming and they're reluctant to leave, and they will only leave if they are forced to. Now, if you've got all three of these things lined up and they're all in place, what you'll have is a nice functioning retention engine that works not so much on autopilot. You've got to put a little bit of effort into this, but once you've got these things set up, they will help you retain more members, and if members do want to leave, it helps them to do that without leaving a bitter taste in their mouth. And it also gives you feedback as to how to improve the gym so that less members leave in the future. Okay, so we've got our three things here. We've got our tools, we've got our accountability, and we've got our belonging. The tools are things you're going to give them that they can use themselves in order to get better results. So this might be like nutrition plans, a coaching app, a body scanner or a body fat scanner. We have MyZone at the gym, which helps people see their workouts and how much intensity they've done. All these things are tools that they can help to see their progress or to get better progress. And the accountability works inside with the tools because it's no point having a diet plan or a MyZone heart rate tracker or something like that if there's no way of measuring their progress. We have systems set up that track people on their body fat, how their body fat's gone, how their muscle mass has gone up. We do challenges inside the gym so that people can see how they fared against other people. It's a nice bit of competitive stuff there. And we also have the accountability email. So if somebody doesn't come for about 2 weeks or so, they get an email to say, hey, we're really concerned you've not come in. Is there anything we can do to help? Things that help the members to see that we care about them, we care about their process, and we actually care about them getting really good results. A lot of people think that accountability is like pressure and they don't want to pressure their members, but it's not. It's proof that somebody actually gives a damn about if they do well or not. And that's a powerful message you can send to people. And the belonging is the building of a community. Now, I'm sure you've been to gyms before which have all the nice fancy kit. It's like multi-million-pound investment, all that sort of thing. But it just doesn't feel like home. It just feels like a gym that you go to. No one talks to you. No one knows your name. There's no sort of community events there. It's just come here, train and pay us a load of money and we've got all this great kit for you. That might suit some people, but in my experience of, say, 15 years of talking to members, the kit you have is important, but it's not as important as having great people there to share that experience with. Okay, so that's the ideal situation. But what happens if you don't have one or more of these things in place? Okay, so what if we have accountability and belonging, but we don't have the tools in place? So members feel part of the gym, they're supported, coached and challenged, but they're lost when they're on their own. They're unsure what to eat, unsure what to train. Maybe they don't know how to use the equipment. and their progress slows and frustration starts to creep in. So in this case, they've got all the idea, but no gear. Like climbing Mount Everest without your backpack. You can have the most motivational person there with you and have the drive to do it and know what you got to do, but you haven't got the stuff to help you do it. What about if we have belonging and tools, but we have no accountability? So they love the gym, they love the vibe there, they've got resources, they've got access, but nobody's checking in to keep them on track. So their good intentions start to drift and they think, oh, I'll get back to it soon, but they don't. Well, in this case, they've got all the gear, but no steer. They love what they're doing, they've got the things to help them get there, but they've got no one shouting at them or helping them to get where they want to be. And the final problem we've got is that we've got all the tools and all the accountability, but no belonging. They don't feel as though they're part of the community. So they've got the plan and the tools to do it. They're being nudged and measured and held to account, but they don't feel seen as people. They don't feel part of a community, maybe just part of a process. No one really says hi at the gym, they've got no friends there, and there's no real reason to stay loyal. And because of that, it's easy to quit when things get tough, when life gets in the way. They've got all the gains, but no gang. They've got no one to share it with, no one's applauding their efforts. Yeah, I've got really good results, but no one's acknowledging that. So did I really get those results? Is it really that meaningful? So when we've got that all together, members feel as though what they're doing is mattering to someone, not only themselves. They're making visible progress, so they're seeing results. They've got all the tools to help them win, and they may not even use all of them, but they know they've got them if they need them. And they feel as though they're part of something. They feel as though they're part of a community. People who want them to do well, lift them up to do well. And that's a really powerful binding mechanism which enhances that sense of belonging, and people don't want to leave that. It's a positive situation to be in. So how do we build this retention engine? And how do we keep tabs on our members? Well, what I'm going to run through now is some of the things that I've done at my own gym, but also some of the things I've done at other gyms as well. Now, these won't suit everybody, and every gym you have to take it on account of what can work here, what do members want, what's my clientele like. But some of these things I found are useful across all of the gyms I've worked with. And there's going to be something here that you can go, oh, that's a nice idea. I can do that into my gym. So let's talk about tools first. Now, the thing I've noticed is that people are quite reluctant to ask for help. Often they think that they're bothering you or they're causing a problem, or they think that I should be doing this myself. And so they'll be reluctant to ask you for help. But if you give them the tools that they can use themselves, what I've found is that people will take these things and start to get better results, and they'll never even mention that they needed help. They'll just take them up and start using them. So some of the things I've incorporated at Ministry, first of all, a smarter eating plan. So this is given to every single member if they want it, and it helps them to eat a flexible diet around foods they like while working towards certain macros and calories. Now, this is a specific service, a white label service that I do for my other business. Feel free to ask me about that if you want to. But it gives people a way to eat without compromising their lifestyle, eating to certain calories and macros. Obviously, you can build your own smarter eating plans here. Mine are bespoke to every member, but if you want to just create guides as to how to eat to certain calories, that's fine as well. The important thing is you are giving people something to help them with their nutrition, and they can ask for extra help if they need it. The second thing I do is I give every member, if they want it, access to our coaching app. This has certain workouts built around specific topics. So I have some bodybuilding, some strength training, some abs stuff in there, some glute building stuff in there. So they can pick and choose the stuff that they want and get advice on how to train for a certain goal. This also helps to break down the I don't know how to use the kit question, because the workouts all have videos and they can just follow the workouts along even if they're a complete beginner, and it shows them exactly how to do the exercise. In fact, this is more useful than an induction, because if you've ever been on a gym induction, it's here's all the kit, here's how it works, see you later. There's no real coaching there. We also have a body scanner. I bought this in lockdown and it was about, I think, £6,000 or £7,000 when I bought it. I went for the upgraded medical grade scanner, the ones that has been used in research studies. And the reason for that is to give people a more accurate readout of both their body fat and their muscle mass, but also tracking their weight at the same time. What I found is this has been incredibly useful for members, because every week they can come in and get a body scan. And bear in mind, I do this for free. Most gyms charge about £10 per scan for this. And we do charge non-members £10 to use it, but it's free for members. And they can come in every week and get a scan, see how they're progressing, and start to see how their muscle is improving, how their body fat's dropping, even if they can't see it in the mirror. And this is an incredible thing for retention, because people get demotivated very quickly if they're not seeing things happening in the mirror or on the scales. But if you can see what's going on inside the body, because a lot of people have muscle going up, body fat going down, so their body weight stays the same, but they can't see it right now in the mirror. It's really important for maintaining that motivation and stops people thinking, oh, what's the point? I might as well just leave. The other thing we have is the MyZone integration. So this is a belt that they can wear on their chest or their wrist, on their arm, and it tracks their workout, how many calories they burn, effort they've put into it. It gives them points, so it gamifies the workouts. And over time, the points build into awards, bronze to silver to gold to like platinum or something. I'm in the Hall of Fame because I've been doing it for so long. Just, put that out there. And what you can do is you can pull out the data from that, from what everybody's done over the month, and create league tables. So we can see who's improved the most in their average effort, who's improved and scored more points this month, who's burnt the most calories over the course of the month, and also who's been in the sort of the red zone, which is the top heart rate thing. The important thing about this is that every single member can do well in one of these categories, because the people who are super fit and burning tons of calories, yes, they're going to hit the calories leaderboard more than anybody else. However, because they are super fit and they're exercising all the time, they're not going to be improving in the average effort improvement stats. But the people who are in the most need of a kick in terms of, I've just started the gym, I don't know what I'm doing, they will see their average effort go up month by month. And if they get into the league tables in the top 10, it then gives them an extra spur of motivation to do better next month, to do well next month. So this is a monthly competition that I run. It's fairly good natured. There are some members who are very competitive and want to beat each other, but it's all light-hearted. There's no prizes at the end in terms of, here you got £20 or something like that. The overall winner of the whole lot gets a belt, which is like a WWE belt, which they can get a photo with, and they're the champion for the month. So the reward is more the bragging rights, but it works brilliantly, and people love getting onto the top 10, and we display all that in the gym so people can see how hard everybody else is working. It's a great motivating factor. And the final thing we do for the tools is to ask the members twice a year about what they think we should be doing in the gym, the things that they need, the things that they would like to see added to the gym. This is a tool in the sense of we're asking the members what they need, what we currently don't provide, because we can put all these things in place, but there might be something glaringly obvious to them, which is not glaringly obvious to us, which we could put in place, which would make their experience of the gym better. And they feed back to us what is working and what they like about the gym as well. So it's a nice two-way street there, and everybody benefits. Okay, so what about accountability? We don't want to pressure the members into thinking, oh, if you don't do this thing, you're going to fail and you are a failure. But we do want to give them enough accountability that they feel that someone's watching them, is looking out for them, and also is going to pick them up when they're not having such a great day. So there's a few crossovers here between the tools and the accountability. We have the MyZone, which is the accountability in terms of they can see how many calories they've burnt, they can see the effort they've expended, and also we have those league tables. The body scan keeps them accountable in terms of every single month they can see how they're progressing. We encourage members to have one body scan at least every 2 weeks so that they can see their progress over time. The other two things I do, one is the Super 6 coaching program, which is an online based coaching program, but because we're all in the gym together, we all see each other in the gym as well. That helps to boost motivation, and I generally run it around the times of the year where the gym membership starts to dip or we have more leavers, because it's the natural drop off. And these would be Christmas and around about summertime. So the time of filming this video, we're week 2 in Super 6 Summer Shredder. Now the thing here, which goes against normal conventional business advice for gyms, is that the Super 6 program is free for members. Now that might sound a little bit like they're getting something for nothing, but actually when you think about it, it works very, very well. The first thing I do is email all our ex-members and the members at the same time and say this program is starting and it's going to be free for members, or it's £149 if you're not a member. So what you get is people joining the gym to become a member, so they get the Super 6 program for free, which works out nicely because they're getting a program for free, they're joined as a member, which helps us, and they're going to get some really good results over 6 weeks. So it helps them stay for longer as a member. And like I said, we run this around about the times that memberships tend to dip. So it actually means that our membership starts to rise at these months, whereas traditionally it has dipped in the past. And the final thing we do to make sure members are accountable is after 2 weeks or 14 days of them not being in the gym, I send them a nice email to say, hey, haven't seen you for a few weeks. Is everything okay? Is there something we can help with? And we're very open here because we understand that some people come to a gym, they start off and they think, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. And so they stop coming. And then after a couple of months, obviously they leave. So by sending these emails out, we catch people before that set in. People might have had an injury or they might have been on holiday. So they reply to say, hey, that's fine. I'm just on holiday, or I'm just taking some time off because I've got an injury. But we also get a lot of people saying, yeah, do you know what? I could do with some help. I'm not really sure about my nutrition. I'm not really sure what to train in the gym. I've lost my motivation a little bit. And we say, hey, are you aware that we do all these other things like the workout app, like the Super 6 program, the smarter eating plans? The problem is you can send out all these emails, you can have notifications in the gym, and people will still not read those things. So sometimes it takes that intervention for people to say, yeah, I could do with some help with this. And you say, hey, we already do this thing. Let me set you up with it. And it opens a conversation with members who are maybe on the fence about leaving, and it brings them back in and helps them get better results. So again, everybody's winning there. And the final element is building belonging, building a community, this campfire community where everybody wants to come in and have a good time and feels at home there. I've been to gyms which have a whole ton of equipment, all the best, latest $1 million equipment, whatever else. And they are like absolute graveyards to train in because the members don't talk to each other. Everyone's going and doing a workout. People have got attitude because they think they're the biggest fish in the pond. And it's not a nice place to train there. The kit's nice, but it's not a nice place to train there. And over time, that erodes members down, and eventually they leave, or they go to someone else's gym as a sort of like a tryout or something else, find it's a really nice place, and they change over. So it doesn't matter about having the best gym with the best equipment and the best facilities, but you do need to have somewhere which has a great community feel, because that's going to do a lot more for you than spending £2,000-3,000 on another bit of kit. If you can have a desk, a manned desk, which people, when they come in, can say hello to you. And there is a big push for 24-hour gyms and 24 access gyms and unmanned gyms. But if you've ever been to one of those gyms, you will know that there is no atmosphere. There's no welcome. No one makes you feel at home when you walk in. You just go in, do your stuff and leave. Having a manned desk, yes, it's more expensive in terms of staffing, but I found in the years I've been running the gym that actually it's what makes the gym the unique experience. People are always saying in our feedback, I love how when I come in, people say hello to me, they're friendly, they know my name. It goes a lot farther than you think. It's not just someone to sit there on the desk and sign people in. It's someone, a human face, to welcome people, welcome them home when they come into the gym. One of the other things we do is we have a Bring a Friend on the weekend and Pizza Fridays. So this is a community event. Every last Friday of the month, we invite members to bring a friend with them to come and train, and they can train on Friday, Saturday or Sunday. And on the Friday night, we have Pizza Fridays. So if they bring their friends around about 7, which is normally, traditionally, a quiet time for us in the week, they bring their friends in, we order some pizzas in, they train, they have a bit of pizza afterwards, everyone has a chat. It's a really nice feel. And what it's meant is our Friday nights, which were traditionally a really quiet time, is now become a bit of a buzz at the end of the month. And it's something that members look forward to. And it's a bit of a talking point as well, because, okay, pizza, maybe not the healthiest thing in terms of, oh, you own a gym, shouldn't you be promoting health food? Yes, but we're also about promoting a balanced lifestyle. And yes, you can eat pizza and not get fat overnight. If you have 1 or 2 slices of pizza, it's not going to cripple you for the rest of the week. In addition to this, we have VIP passes, which any member gets when they join. They have 12 VIP passes, which they can bring in friends. Now, the reason I do this, I've had people say to me, you're giving away £120 worth of guest passes. Why don't they just bring a friend in and pay for them on a guest pass? Yes, they could do that. And actually, that's what a lot of people do once they run out of their VIP passes. But the key thing to think about here is a lot of gyms have member referrals. If you refer somebody and they come in and sign up, we'll give you X amount of money off your membership or something like that. The problem with that is that you're then monetizing the incentive for people to refer a friend to you. So they're not doing it out of love for the gym or to help the gym out. or for any personal benefit apart from the fact they might get some money from it. So what they do is they refer a whole load of people who maybe aren't suitable, aren't the right people for the gym. And then you've got to call those people up, invite them in. And if they do join, they might not be right for the community. So it drags the community down. By having the VIP passes, people only give away a VIP pass to someone they like. And it's normally someone who's like them. So what we find is that members bring in their friends who are pretty much like them, looking for the same goals, same sort of stuff. We can then follow up with those people to say, hey, you've come in for a day. How did you like it? Would you like a further trial to come in and see what the gym's about? We offer them a 3-day trial, and when they come in, we offer them a slight discount off the first month if they join within 7 days. And this is a system that has worked so well for us, we don't really use any other option. We have a Facebook ads that leads to a 3-day trial, and we have the VIP pass, which leads into that as well. And that has a 40% conversion rate. That is epic. It's bigger than anything else I've ever tried. And it doesn't cost me a lot of money to run. So if everyone's saying to me, oh, but you're giving away £120 worth of guest passes, yeah, I am. If that person signs up for the year, I've gained about £600. So I'm fine with that. One of the other things that a lot of gym owners ignore or really don't bother with is emailing both their members and their ex-member lists. We send out emails around about 2 or 3 times a week to our members. And I also send out every week a message that goes out to our ex-members, letting them know what's going on in the gym, things we've added, things that have happened, member achievements, that sort of thing. Now, yes, you're going to get some people unsubscribing, which you'd expect from ex-members who maybe moved out of the country or moved away and they don't want to hear from you again. But a lot of people will still be local. A lot of people might have moved away from the gym because they just wanted to try something else, or they went to a cheaper gym because they thought they had to save money. Quite often, when I'm sending these emails out, and I include a get a 3-day trial link into that, I'll get people signing up from those emails to say, hey, do you know what? I've missed ministry. I'm going to come back. Thanks for the 3-day trial. They come in for the 3-day trial, love it again, see all the things we've updated because we're always updating the kit. And they go, great, I'm going to join up again. It's absolutely worth doing it. And I'm surprised by the amount of gym owners that don't do this. They focus on only emailing their current members and never emailing their ex-member list. I mean, for one email, you could be getting 2 or 3 members back. It's not a lot of effort to spend. And the members love it because we're always communicating with them. The emails we send out to members are not sales emails. They're always about things we're doing at the gym, member achievements, people who top the top 10 and the My Zone, that sort of thing. It's always about stuff that people achieved and things that are going on in the gym. It's really a community feel that we get from doing this. And you absolutely should be emailing your member list at least twice a week. But once a week is okay if you're just starting out. And the final thing I've been doing recently, which is just a new thing, is having a broadcast list on Instagram. Now, you might not be able to get this because you have to have certain, I don't know what Instagram requires you to have. They say it's 10,000 followers. We've got it with 3,500 followers on Ministry Instagram. So work that one out. A broadcast list is quite a good way of engaging directly with your members. Invite your members to join it, and then you can send out messages about what's going on in the gym, which will pop up on their phone in their inbox. A lot of people check Instagram 2 or 3 times a day so that you can use the broadcast list to keep them updated with things that are going on in the gym. It's pretty much the same things you would say on the emails and your normal social media. But because it's going into the inbox, it's more direct, it's more personal. Key thing here is don't do any selling in that. Just keep people aware of what's going on. If you've got a special offer, yes, promote that, but don't do it all the time. Don't use it as like, oh, this is free sales, because it's about developing that community aspect of it. What we do when we've got new kit coming in, we always put a picture in the main Facebook or Instagram to say new kit coming when it's all blurred out. And we always say join our broadcast list to find out first what it is. And every time I do that, I always get about 10 or 15 new joiners on the broadcast list because people want to know what's going on before anybody else. And then they're on the broadcast list and you can keep them updated and keep in close contact with them. And it allows a nice conversation to start between you and your members. Okay, so that's some of the things that you could input into your gym. Not all of them will work for every gym, but it's about finding what works right for your business. And this is by no means an exhaustive list. It's just things I've done and I've helped other people do, and it's worked. Okay, so we've done all that. We've kept tabs on our members. We've done everything we possibly can to keep them. What about if they still want to leave? What do we do then? If someone has said, look, I appreciate all the stuff you've done, but I still want to leave. My advice here is to make it as easy for them to leave as they possibly can. People will always remember how you made them feel, And they'll always remember how you made them feel the last time you were talking to them. And there's a lot of psychological research evidence to show this. People who have a bad experience at the beginning but have a good experience at the end always recall it as being a good experience generally. And if people have a good experience at the front end but then a bad experience at the end, they always recall it as a bad experience overall. And this is the risk you run from having complex and stressful cancellation procedures. Years ago, before I owned ministry, I was a member of quite an expensive gym. It's sort of like a health club type gym. And they turned around and said, we're putting the prices up. And I was like, do you know what? No, I can't pay that. It's a bit too much. I was a member at another gym anyway, which I was using for my bodybuilding, but I was using this other gym for, say, cardio. And I said, no, actually, do you know what? I'm going to cancel because it's just too expensive for me. I'll go and do my cardio at the other gym. And I'd had quite a decent experience at that gym. There were a few like pretentious idiots there, but generally the people there were nice. And I just submitted an email to say, I'd like to cancel, please. I'll give you a month's notice. And they wrote back to me and said, no, you need to give us 3 months notice and you need to pay an exit fee. Now, if you didn't know, if a gym tells you it's going to put the prices up, that is classed as a change of the terms of the contract. And this applies to a lot of other things. So if you've got people saying they're putting the prices up and you say you want to leave and they say, no, you can't because you're in a contract, that's actually not correct. What you'll find in terms of contracts is they say, we reserve the right to put your price up. But what it doesn't say is, if we're putting the price up, that's classed as a change of terms of the contract. You didn't agree to the price that they're putting it up to. So you have to have your agreement in order to do this. This is often implied agreements. That's why they give you 2 or 3 months notice about a price change. But if you don't agree with that and you're in a contract with them for, say, another 8 months, you're well within your rights to say, do you know what? No, I don't agree with that and I'm going to cancel. And this is what I said to this gym. And they were like, no, that's not correct. You need to give us 3 months notice. And I said, but that 3 months will mean I'm paying 2 months at the higher rate. And I don't agree to that. And they tried to get very aggressive with me, sending me lawyers' letters and everything else. And in the end, I said, well, actually, okay, let's go to court and discuss it, because by putting the prices up, you're putting me in a position which is not financially viable for me. But I will agree to pay the extra 2 months at the price I originally started to pay at, because that was what the contract I signed. And in the end, they cancel the contract. And in this instance, we'll cancel it. However, that left such a bad taste in my mouth. I made sure that everybody I ever met who talked about this gym, I told them that experience. Now, I'm not a lawyer in any way. I just like a good argument when I think something's wrong. And I was right in this respect, and they cancelled the membership, but they didn't have to do that. They could have just said, that's fine, Tom, thanks for your business over 3 years. We hope you have a great time at your other gym. Feel free to come back to us at any time. And I would have been happy, I would have left, I would have got what I wanted, and they would have had a customer which would have given them positive reviews and positive feedback afterwards. They didn't have any of that, because they tried to chase 2 more months of membership. And this is the experience you're going to give your members if you try and chase them or make the cancellation process really stressful. For ministry, our cancellation process is really easy. Even if you go on the main website, the homepage, where it says join now, there's a little link underneath it. It says cancel your membership. When you walk into the gym, we've got a big poster right as when you walk in, which says join now. And underneath it says cancel your membership with QR codes. And people can even go on our Instagram and click on our link tree, and there's a thing there that says cancel your membership. It is super easy to cancel if you want to cancel, and members know it's really easy to cancel. And all they have to do is fill out a form with about 7 questions on, and we will cancel for them within 3 to 7 days, even if they are in a contract. Now, you still get people who pretend they phoned up and cancelled on the phone, which we don't do, and then complain that the memberships come out. This normally happens around the 3rd of the month. But the majority of people use this method, go through, and what happens is we get some really good feedback as to why they're leaving. And the way I see it, if someone wants to leave your business, if someone wants to leave your service, they're doing that for a reason. And I want to know what that reason is. Is there something I could have done better in my business to make them stay? Is there something that has happened which has forced them to leave, like an unusual event? Has another member had a problem with them which we don't know about? Because if this member's causing problem for them, they're probably causing problem for other members as well. And this is all the things you need to know about, because people will not normally tell you about those things. They'll just say, I want to cancel, and that's it, which is why I have a very simple exit form. Anybody wants to leave, we say, that's no problem. Just fill out this form. We'll do it in 7 days. And the questions on the form are your full name and email address, which is sort of obvious. Then we ask them, why are you leaving? And we actually put in a thing here that says, look, be honest. We'll always cancel any membership anyway, but we really actually do want to know why you want to cancel, and we won't be offended If you tell us something horrible, we won't be offended at that. We'll try and fix it. And we normally get really good responses here. And the majority of the time though, people are moving house or they've got a new job or something like that. Then we ask them for any other feedback. So is there anything else you'd like to say about the gym? And this is quite good because there might be things which they weren't going to say about, but then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, do you know the lockers need fixing? You could do with another bench because the bench is always taken. Those sorts of things, they're not really criticisms. It's just, oh, did you know this? And that helps us then to improve those small little things. And then the last thing is we ask them, when would you like the membership to end? Because sometimes they cancel and it needs to be a month in advance. Sometimes it'll be, oh, right now, please. But if we know that they've got another couple of weeks left on their membership, we can fix some of those things they've said about and then go back to them and say, hey, just so you know, we fixed these things. Did you still want to cancel or not? In about 10% of times, that does mean the member actually says, yeah, I don't actually want to cancel anymore. By doing it this way, you send a powerful message to people. We're sorry you're leaving, but we'll facilitate your leaving in as fast and as simple and stress-free way as possible because we don't want to cause you any extra burden. It reduces confrontation. It doesn't get people wound up because when people want to cancel their gym membership, often they'll adopt a very confrontational approach because they've had the experience that I outlined earlier with other gyms and they think it's going to be difficult. So it reduces that straight away and actually gives them oh, that was easy. And it earns you a ton of goodwill because if you make it easy for someone to cancel and it's non-stressful and they go away thinking, you know, I had to cancel the membership for whatever reason, but you know, that was actually quite a nice thing. It wasn't stressful. I feel okay about that. They will then tell other people they come across that it was actually a very stress-free procedure. And although in certain cases there was something bad that happened that forced them to leave, that is the 0.1% of people we get leaving. So you're never going to convert those people to say nice things about you. However, the majority of the time we get good feedback coming back to us from new members to say, oh, so-and-so left, but he recommended me join because it was such a nice place to be. So if someone generally wants to go and you can't do anything about that, hold the door open for them and then keep holding it open for them if they ever want to come back. You'll be surprised at the amount of people who will go off to another gym to try it and then realize what they've missed and they'll come back. And if you've slammed the door on them as the way out, then they're never going to come back. So I've covered quite a lot in this video, so let me just summarize the key points for you. Number one is that people don't normally leave just because of price. If you think about it, people buy iPhones and cars and other things they can't really afford, put them on finance, put them on a credit card, etc. It's not normally just the price that has caused somebody to leave. So if they say, oh, the price has gone up too much, what they mean there is the perceived value of what you're giving them as opposed to what you're charging them is less. So it's very important to get the feedback of why they think that perceived value has dropped so much. Secondly, the first 3 months are the most important times for your new members. 50% of people leave in this time, so make sure you're doing everything you possibly can within those 12 weeks to make those people feel at home, give them the tools they need, and make sure that you're keeping them accountable and checking in on them regularly. Third thing here is that I believe that a warm, friendly, welcoming gym doesn't need contracts. If you need to have a contract to bind somebody in to prevent them leaving, that says a lot about how you're operating your gym and how you're offering your gym. Although we have contracts at Ministry, they are literally for the administration of the bonuses that we give our members because they get the bonuses every 12 months. And we have a complete no quibble cancellation policy. So if somebody wants to cancel, they can cancel within 3 to 7 days. Rather than focusing on binding them in with a really tight contract, focus on making your gym a more hospitable campfire style gym where people love to come and chat and it feels like home to them. Number 4, keep tabs on your members. Make sure you're giving them the tools they need, holding them to account, and then making a sense of belonging. It's not just about access to a gym. And number 5 is make it easy for people to join, but also make it easy for people to leave. People will always remember the last experience they had with you. If that one is a stressful and horrible experience, that's all they'll remember about your gym. You may even get conversations such as, yeah, do you know what? It is a really good gym, but the people who run it are absolute idiots and I hate them. And that's not very good feedback for people who may be thinking about joining your gym. I said at the beginning I was going to give you a free tool to help you audit your own gym to see where the holes are, to see where people maybe are leaving and you don't know why. So all you have to do is go into the description, there's a link there, and that will give you a free Google Docs that you can fill in and tick off the things that you already do in your gym, and maybe give you some insights into what you could add into your gym to make it a bit better. It takes about 30 minutes to fill it out if you take your time and really have a think about these things, and it will give you a good starting point in improving your retention strategy so that you can have a retention engine and not a hole in the bucket situation. Hope that was helpful for you, and I'll see you on the next video.